Pros, this is Mike with another Dirty Promotions video. Kia Telluride 2020. We're going to do 2 front doors, 20% Stealth IR by Dirty Tools. Sweep removal right here. I did have the sweep already removed. I did it off camera just to kind of try to see what's going to go on. Pretty simple. Grab this guy right here, pull it to the back. Pull this guy to the back, and you'll see the typical retainer clips. You're going to see them pop out. And then get your typical cotter pin extractor, grab it from the corner, pick it up, and then release it. And that's this one right here. He was a little bit fidgety. He might have a little bit of adhesive here, and he was a little bit stuck in there, but you can't pull him out real quick. And the reason for that bottom loading is very, very desirable. At least I want to do some bottom loading because I don't like the cumbersome problems that come along with these. Although this is a 2020, it still has a lot of embedded dirt stuck on there, and what happens when we flush it or when we're working on it, some of this dirt will be dislodged and slowly creep into the window film, like sideways like this. You already know what I'm talking about, creasing it, blah blah blah. I want to get the nicest, cleanest install, and I'm not as good as a lot of the people that are doing two staging. I'm not as good as them, so there you go. Take this out of the way. That way we can have a little bit of room here. And you always see me using pry tools. Here it's already open, but here we could help ourselves creating a little bit of space like here, and using this wedge right here. It's just wood, and you can keep it open. That way when you're bottom loading, you have a lot of room here and here, bottom loading this kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and go to that door, which is already covered. It's already covered, which is kind of proper to do. I understand. I see a lot of videos that don't cover them, and it's cool, but I just don't want to get water into these guys right here. Mercedes-Benz and whatever had mood lighting and stuff like that. Their speakers, as you can see right there, so water goes in there, and you know, I just don't want surprises from customers telling me that some shit's not working on their vehicle, and that's the reason you want to cover it. I left one of my covers that says Dirty Tools in one of the trainings that I had way out there in Michigan, so I borrowed one from my friends here at Sunstoppers, Hampshire, and so thanks a lot for letting me borrow this one. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and remove these here stickers, that's what they are, and then go ahead and clean it up and show you some of the new tools and strategies we use for doing our bottom loading. Okay, so I remove the stickers all the time, and there's plenty on cars all the time. Remove with the blade so you can get all that, you know, glue and whatever here that the sticker had out of the way. Now the reason that we stopped using blades a long time ago, and I know this is a crowd favorite, they use it every day and stuff like that, is because we're constantly training people how to do window tinting, and you know, they might forget all these windows have a little bit of a curve this way and this way. So when that happens, this is not something that scratches glass necessarily. They are carbon, as you already know. But what scratches glass is, depending on the angle that you're going with the blade, you might have it on the wrong angle. And when we're cleaning these type of frits and stuff like that, it'll bend the blade in a certain way. Here in the corners, when we hit corners or edges or the top, you know, we razor the top, we're cleaning the top. And every time we go to the top, we are bending the blade a little bit when we go over and stuff like that. A lot of people are not conscious of the things that are going on, so the blade might get a little bit bent here on this thing. The angle, depending on the angle that you're using it, it might scratch, and we have scratch, and that's the reason that I kind of like shied away from using it, because I had a Honda Accord brand new several years ago, probably like 5-7 years ago, and it was a wing vent, and I kind of did this, you know, typical cleaning like we do real quick to do long strokes and whatever. Try to cover a lot of area, real estate, and guess what? I found some long, very whitish scratches, and I put the tint on it. It fucked my life, man. And I just wanted the situation to go away, and I didn't, you know, it was my bad, you know, that I did that, you know, with this blade. So after that, I, you know, just said to myself, let me use something scrubbies. But then we use scrubbies, which are, these are the typical ones. This is the blue 3M1s and whatever. Sometimes there's something lodged in there that it might not be able to take away. So the next best thing is always going to be like a razor blade. You'll be able to hear something that's behind, and you do a little bit more, and of course it's going to come off, you know, that is. So this right here is something that's very proper to use in the windows, but it's kind of small. and it doesn't have a handle, so you can't reach down there below that point or in there because it's kind of small. And then you might hit something and you're going to probably drop it, right? So that's the reason that we have this type of tool here. You can use it in conjunction with the scrubby, get it all started, kind of like this. And then you can do your thing. At the top, you see this? This is kind of like oil from Armor All or this or that. So you can kind of like your soap solution, whatever it might be, to dislodge some of that stuff. Kind of start doing that, kind of like, you know, pre-scrubbing a pan or whatever. And then obviously you're going to reach an area where it has this limitation. We're going to do this all the way around and pretty much done. Just kind of like oils and whatever, you're kind of like moving them around a little bit. You grab your tool. This is pretty sharp. This is pretty much as sharp as this guy right here. Got a very sharp, but it has 3 times the area, so you can be done real quick with your cleaning. So you can see real quick here. It'll be cutting all the way to inside there, all the way to the edge, stuff that the razor blade cannot reach, all the way to the bottom, the frit here. You won't be bending nothing because this won't bend, it's just plastic. And then because we're doing bottom loading here, we can't really get the dirt that's down there. And I know we're gonna try and flush it, but the more flushing, I don't know if there's shit down there that might get wet, you know, actuators. I have heard some guys that there's some actuators and modules and horseshit that they've been fucking up here when they do rinse and whatever. So I guess just to keep it as safe as possible, we're gonna dislodge stuff from here, from the sides, all the way down like this. You can see about at least 2-3 inches down. When we're bottom loading, we won't be picking up the shit and debris and dirt that might still be in there. And then when we bring up the pattern to align it, it might bring it into your bottom area, and that's what we're trying to avoid, okay? So I know it kind of sounds like common sense, but even though sometimes people do it and they don't know where shit's coming from, and this is where it's coming from. It's coming from the other windows, area of the windows that you cannot reach and clean as good as you want to. So kind of down there. I mean, we're kind of done there, and then do the top. And I'm listening to see if there's any crunchiness on the glass and whatever. If I don't hear any crunchiness, I'm good to proceed all the way to the edge, all the way in there where any of the tools, you know, only one that can reach in there is the easy reach and stuff like that. He's kind of triangular and pointy, so might be a little bit uncomfortable. That's the reason we created this handle all the way in there, all the way down. So this is pretty much now a prep window that you can go ahead and do your bottom loading. We are going to do all the way down, drag it, and right here, because it might touch or any of that stuff, let me get a dirty rag. This is a glass towel. I don't like to touch fucking those surfaces with my very nice clean towel, so I'll get something else that's pretty popular out there. I'm just going to go ahead and do a good swipe here on this bar right now. You can see right here, it's just dirt that's in there. So that way when I do my flushing, I won't dislodge shit from here that's going to go into the film and stuff like that. So I'm going to do that right now. Do this and be done. So let me just go ahead and prep the window real quick and then bottom loaded. My patterns are over there. I got to weed them out and then put them right here. Okay. All right. So the reason that you see me wearing gloves recently is because I want to do some bottom loading videos. I want to be able to touch film without my epidermis touching the film, because the window film, pressure sensitive film, is sticky. And every time we're working with water and stuff like that, we're getting our epidermis kind of like moist, and some of this dry skin or whatever is going to be left behind when you touch the film. And I think a lot of people know that you get your mystery fucking big old finger here and here when we're doing that kind of bullshit. I don't like to do, I never love to do that. Sometimes I maneuver shit around when I'm not wearing gloves, and I grab that corner and kind of do all this mumbling and jumbling and then kind of bottom load it. That's the only way that I can kind of hide my print that I might have left. I know you lick your finger, I know all that, I know. But get some fucking tape and put it here and then dislodge it and look at the fucking tape, and all that handprint is gonna be the same thing. It's pressure sensitive tape, it's fucking tape. That print and little debris and epidermis and whatever left on the tape is gonna be left on your film wherever you touch it. So even now, so I can touch film, but before I fucking touch film, all I gotta do this, and it dislodges whatever dust there is here, and that's it. If I touch it, there's no epidermis that's gonna be left on the film. That's the fucking reason I do it. I don't do it for fanciness or nothing like that, or because dish soap or whatever soap does anything to my hands. I don't. Anyway, so let's go ahead and prep this window and go ahead and bottom load it. Enough of the talking. Right. There you go. Let's do the exterior so I can see what's going on here. That, boom. So I can see if I'm leaving any shit behind or whatever. Now I can see. Go ahead and do thing here. Okay. Do this to the top. Make sure there's nothing here. And you can see even at that, because this top area I don't clean with a scrub pad because I'm not going to apply film on the top area, just the bottom, but I must dislodge whatever there might be in that little thing. So I'm going to do that right fucking now and take care of it. I think I'm comfortable somewhere around there, and I know that the video is taking longer than normal, but all these explanations, kind of like what I do when I do training. I slow down so I can show everybody what to do, and then I let them do it. And they do their bottom load and whatever, and I correct them as we're going along, and that's the way we get a lot of success, okay? So, already done that. We're gonna do this real quick, all the way across. And you can see where am I touching? I'm touching parts of the fucking car that are dirty without me realizing it. I'm doing it, and I gotta put duct tape on my hands and kind of like do this to my body so it doesn't do that, but it just inadvertently happens. So you know the next step, right? As soon as I'm gonna touch film, I'm gonna do the thing with the water, and that way we're not dirty. So people, installers, the reason I'm showing this is because you want to catch yourself through video doing some things that you don't believe you're doing. You know, like, why am I leaving shit behind? I clean it 6 times. You don't need to clean it 6 times. Just 1 time, and look at yourself where the problem is at. That's the reason that I ask every pal that inboxes me from all over the world. I mean, all over. And they ask me, what am I doing wrong? I cleaned this, filter water, holy water. It's not that, bro. I need to see a video of you. And when I see you touching shit and then doing the film, I don't care if you're cleaning 6 or 10 times. You're going to leave that contaminant that you grab somewhere else in the film, right? So we already done that. We're gonna do this on the side. Make sure it's nice and moist, nice and moist, nice and moist there. Do this right here. He's nice and wet. We're gonna go ahead and get our pattern, and we're gonna go ahead and start in this corner, and we're gonna do what I said. We're gonna go ahead and do this real quick. So he's clean. And my other hand real quick. We're good. So without any explanation and whatever, I can just do this window like typical installers will in whatever amount of time, 10 minutes a window or whatever. That's pretty much same time, but slowing down for the tutorial here. I'm gonna do the corner, do our thing, drop it in there. And this is tint slime. It's about 1 ounce per gallon. So that's enough lubricity that I've noticed. I don't need any more. I didn't bite the corner, so it's not going to be creased or anything. There you go. Here, 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 left and right. I'm aligning it. This is Corey Lumar Eastman patterns. So I'm there. I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to go ahead and go here because it's a deep pocket. I can see there's no gap of light here, no gap of light there. And as a pro, we already know what's going on, but I just want to show you so you can kind of like trace your steps. On the 101 guys, every time that they do an install, they'll do it and they don't look at the top. I look at the top for evenness, you know, evenness meaning like if it's this way, it's going to be close here but far away here. And a noob is not going to realize that. So when they do their thing, fucking ½ inch gap of light, we can't do anything anymore. We unstick it in water, contaminants, horseshit, time. Might as well just get the pattern and just throw it away, right? So you see there a lot of initial success. There, we already did it here, did it here. So now we just go ahead and hold it and install it, do our distribution like always, from center out. There you go. Torx 2 by Dirty Tools. Pretty effective. Got about like 87 durometer. It's just about perfect for flexing and getting all the water out. Really good stuff. Okay, here you go. Moved a little bit. I'm just go ahead and position it back where it goes. Pretty much there. Okay, this area that's kind of like real tight and like that, all in one, reaches all the way to the corner and get all that water out, just like that. Okay, I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna show you what's going on out there. Okay, here, all the way to the bottom, preventing the glass film from scratchings. See that? There's nothing, no contaminants, no nothing, all the way to the edge, all the way to the top. And I think you know the rest of the video. I want to do the tutorial so I can kind of show you in a slow down fashion. That's what we do when we do training on one-on-one. We do training on one-on-one, slow down a lot for the students, and then they get to actually do this application 20, 30 times until they master it, move on to the next step, blah, 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 until they are 100% done with the whole car, windshield, this, that, everything, and that'll be that. Guys, I really enjoyed it, so go ahead and like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. We do a lot of these videos. Well, I don't do a lot of videos because I'm real busy, but I have at least about 200 in my library of other cars that I've done. Reason I call it all-in-one tool, not only go to the sides and whatever, but you can actually tint a whole window with the tool if you wanted to. I don't want to do that. You know, I just, because the window has curvature and whatever, this won't flex with the curve. It'll flex here at the bottom because it's such a small area. And boom, and just like that, we're done. Like I said, enjoyed it. And like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you a little bit later.